For this hat, I'm using the Rio Lamy yarn, and it's from Holland. All right. It has a shiny effect. It is cotton, mercerized cotton. I think that's how you pronounce it. You pronounce it mercerized cotton. So it has a little bit of sheen to it. All right, so that's the yarn I'm using today. And for the hat, I have used the basic hat pattern. All right, basic hat pattern with a difference of doing a mixture of front post and back post. All right. At some point, I will show you the pattern, the outline that I'm following. I've written down what happens round by round, starting from round 3. So I'll tell you what happens in round 1, round 2, and on this document, which I will put in the description, you will find information for round 3, 4, 5, 6 onwards. This yarn recommends that you use a 3 to 3.5 millimeter hook. It says 3 to 3.5. Yeah. So a 3 to 3.5 millimeter hook. I'm using a size 3. All right. So it depends. You also need to take into consideration the type of yarn that you use for this hat. I think it's much better if you use one that will create a bit more flexibility. And if you're using one that creates a bit more flexibility, by that I mean, look at this one, it's not very stiff. All right. So it creates a bit of flexibility. There's some yarn that will be stiffer. That's not the best to use. And also that depends on the size needle or hook that you use when you make your hat. But this will create some amount of, the right amount of flexibility. Can also be more flexible. That's good, but you don't want it to be too stiff. That would be an issue. So this is I'm going to create an adult size beret. And for that, I'm going to make my diameter about 10 inches across, but we'll get there. All right, so let's start with the first step, which is to create a magic ring. Okay. Then for my first round, I'm going to do 6 single crochet. One. I'm going to then join with a slip stitch in my first single crochet, then 2, chain 2, and then in the same stitch I am going to do a double crochet. So what's going to happen here is that in each single crochet I'm going to do 2 double crochet. All right, now this chain 2 forms the first double crochet. The second one is there, and then I need to do 2 double crochet in each of the next single crochet. Then at the end of round 2 we're going to do a slip stitch. In fact, at the end of each round we're going to do a slip stitch and then chain 2. So at the end of round 2, slip stitch, chain 2. This is what is going to happen now in round 3 and onwards. We'll take a look at the chart now. So this document demonstrates what to do starting from round 3 onwards. As you see here, we're switching between front post double crochet and back post double crochet. And we're alternating between front post and back post every 2 rounds. Also note that there are yellow sections in each row. What that means is that you're doing 2 double crochet stitches in 1 stitch. All right, and then the white one means that you're doing individual stitches. So 1 stitch in a stitch, but the yellow is 2 stitches in 1 stitch. So for round 3, we do 2 front post double crochet around the same post, remembering that the chain 2 is your first double crochet. There's your second, 1 in the next one, and we repeat that, 2 around the next post, one in the next, and you keep going until you get to the end of round 3. At the end of round 3, slip stitch, chain 2. Then in the row for round 4, it says 1, then 2 together, then 1 by itself again. So this first one, this chain 2 is the first one. So in the next stitch, we're going to do 2 front posts together, and then 1 front post by itself, and we repeat. Okay, we repeat the 1, the 2, 1. So 1 by itself, 2 together, 2 around the same post, and then 1 on its own. Keep going until we get to the end of round 4. Now at the end of the round, as we normally do, we are going to do a slip stitch and then chain 2. Round number 5 is a back post double crochet round, and to do that we're going to do 2 together and then 3 individual ones, which we will repeat. So the chain 2 is your first one. For the back post, we're going behind, in front of the post, and then down again. Pull that up, pull through 2, pull through 2. So that's your 2 together, and then 3 individual ones. 1, 2, and 3. Then we repeat the whole process of 2 together around the same post. 1, 2, and then 3 individual ones. Let me take a moment to explain to you how to grow your hat up to your required diameter. It took me 28 rounds to get there, but it may take you a different number of rounds. All right? If you need less, just stop wherever is necessary. But if you need to go beyond 28 rounds to get to your desired diameter, I want to explain to you how to extend this pattern in order to achieve this goal. First of all, please note that there are 2 different sequences going on there. If you look at the chart, your first sequence starts with a yellow box. So yellow, 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 yellow. These are all a part of the same sequence. Your second sequence starts with a white box. White, 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 white. So there are 2 sequences going on. So what you need to do is to watch what is going on in the sequences and extend in the same way, using the same pattern. So for your first sequence, note that we have 2, then 1, 2, then 3. We're always starting with a 2, and then we're continuing with an odd number. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25. Your next one then, if you were to continue, it would be 2 and 27. All right? In your second sequence, your yellow one is in the middle. Always, we're having a yellow one in the middle. We're starting with a white one, but note that we're going 1 on either side of that yellow, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So to extend this sequence, it would be 14 to 14. Okay? On the flip side, just before we get to the flip side, once we have grown our hat to the desired diameter, we want to do 2 rounds of double crochet, whether it be back post or front post, whatever wherever you are. Just do that without increasing or decreasing. Moving down to our decreasing section, that's in orange here, and there's still 2 sequences going on here, and you need to watch both sequences and extend your pattern in the same way. So now I've reached the desired diameter. As you can see, it is 10 inches wide across, 10 inches across. So the next step is to do 2 rows without increases. Okay, so, and can I say, it doesn't matter what stage you're at, we still keep the same pattern as 2 front posts, two rows of or rounds of front posts, 2 rounds of back posts, etc. So the next, I've just done 2 rounds of front posts here. For the next 2 rounds, I'm going to do back post double crochet, and I'm not increasing. I'm just going to do back post all the way around the circumference. So I have now completed the 2 rounds of without increasing. It has increased the diameter by 1/2 inch, so it's now approximately 10.5 inches. All right, so now what I shall do is to start the decreasing rounds. Row number 31 is to do 13 double crochet, and this time it's going to be front post. Remember, the chain 2 is the first one. So 1, 2, so now I need to do 2 front post double crochets together, and this is how I do it. So I'm simply going to grab 2 of the previous round of stitches. I'm just going to grab 2 and continue as usual. Right? So let me explain it again. To do 2 together, it's exactly the same as you would do before, except instead of picking up 1 stitch, you're picking up 2 of them. Okay, and then continue with the pattern, the instruction sheet. Now I'm at round 32, and I need to start the round by doing 2 front post double crochet together. Now when I'm decreasing, I'm not going to decrease the chain 2. I'm going to go to the next 2, and that's what I'm going to join together. And that's the same for every other round. When it comes to doing the double crochet at the start of the round. We're not going to do it in the chain 2, we're going to do it in the following 2. So like this. And then 25 double crochet. Everything else remains the same. It's just the first chain 2 that we're not joining. Okay, because we want everything to remain aligned properly. And follow the pattern sheet until you get to the desired head circumference.